YouTube, welcome back. Today I want to update a forbidden playstyle known as Forbidden Combatant. Now there's three reasons. The first reason is I have to update a video from ages ago because I already made I already made this playstyle about a year ago, and it's in dire need of an update because I'm not using the same items at all. But if that wasn't enough, there is still one more thing I need to talk about, and that is the more recent one because it says season 13. But I will not be using this in season 13 because Shield Bow is dead. Thus, I'm gonna have to That's another reason why I have to update this. So if the first video wasn't good enough reason, the second video was still not good enough reason, there's one final reason. I am currently doing this playstyle right now, and the best thing I can do is give an explanation to why and show you why I'm doing the play style, and I'm gonna do this in today's review. So without further ado, let's quickly get into the rune page. Okay, so I'm taking a look, and we got Conqueror, Triumph, Legends Nasty, Last Stand, Unflinching, second one. Yeah, I've seen somewhat of a similar page, but for those who don't know, I'm gonna quickly go over it. Conqueror, especially when trying to be as much of an effective combatant as possible, um, this is the one that's gonna help you the most. Like I said in my previous videos, lethal tempo has been nerfed. It's no longer that important, as important as Conqueror. So if you want to be the best combatant, talking damage, healing, being effective, Conqueror is going to be the number one thing. Triumph, you are a reset champion. You shouldn't be looking at any other uh, rune in this tree. Legend Tenacity, you are the most susceptible to CC. You want to lower it as much as possible and avoid it at all costs. Legend Tenacity at least helps with some of that. Last Stand, you only start doing more damage. You only start doing damage once you are at 5 stacks, and coincidentally, when you are at 5 stacks, you are now below 60%, at least below 60% HP. So Last Stand synergizes with that very well. It also synergizes with Conqueror because by the time you stack it, you should be low as well. So everything is going perfectly fine in the precision tree. As for Resolve, we go for Unflinching to make you an even more dangerous champion at low HP, because now on top of doing damage, you also take even less CC. Slow resist. It's good. Now, the last thing that I guess I could go in a deeper explanation is second wind. I mean, obviously, it's going to be between second wind and bone plating, but I'm thinking more second wind because of how trading works in lane, and getting some health recovery is probably the best thing you can ask for, especially when you want to become as as a much more effective laner and combatant as possible. Now, if you really need to, I don't know, maybe you're playing against Set or something, Jax, I don't know. If you feel the need to go bone playing, go ahead. It's not that big of a deal. But for me, I'm definitely taking those two. As for the stat tree, this should be simple. I don't need to take too much time on this, but attack speed is the best thing in its row. AD, because you're an AD champion, and last but not least, resistances of choice, whether you're facing AP or an AD, will determine whether you get magic resist or armor. For anyone who still doesn't know, if you're facing AD champions, get armor. If you're facing AP champions, magic damage champions, you go magic resist. I shouldn't have to explain this, but this is for the newer players. But for those of you who already know, good. Now you have a refresher. Now let's go to the item build, because that's the part where things really shaken up. All right, we have the item build on the screen now. Well, these are the mythics I'm using for this season at the moment, because now it's between Forbidden Tryhard and Forbidden Combatant. So you see the Trinity Force or Stride Breaker. Now, we already explained Forbidden Tryhard. Now let's explain Forbidden Combatant. As you can see, this should have pretty much everything when it comes to combat with champions. The one thing I will maybe even argue, this isn't too important because most of the games that I be playing, they always have a mixture of everything. They have AP, they have AD, they have a bit of tankiness, they have pretty much everything, and that is for the most part what will be built in every game. There are going to be few instances where they don't have that much AD, they don't have that much AP, or they don't have that much uh, like tanks to deal with. But for the most part, that is the build that we're looking for. Now let's explain. With Stridebreaker, its AD is really good, but also its movement speed is gonna help you keep up with champions in terms of like following them and stuff. Slow to make sure that they don't really get away too much. Maybe even kite. I mean, I heard Roku talk about like kiting with Stridebreaker, but Death Dance. This is to go with your reset flow, and it is good in team fights. Don't forget that. That's one of the best items you can get for a team fight. Now we have Stone Plate here because this is your pseudo lifeline item. Now I say pseudo because it doesn't proc by itself. You need to use your brain and proc it yourself, which is why you take Stone Plate. It has the resistances, so you're gonna be really happy when you're actually in combat with these champions, because you're gonna be having a lot of resistances, and then that shield is gonna pop in, and you're gonna be a-okay. Now to deal with those tanks, you do want to get Cleaver. It's gonna help in team fights as well because they won't have armor. That means your team is gonna do more damage to them. Perfect. As for Force of Nature, now I don't like how they changed Force of Nature, giving it more magic resist instead of the actual damage reduction. But even with this nerf, I'm not going more. It's not better than Force of Nature. So sticking to Force of Nature. The movement speed is still too important, and the magic resist, you still want that as well, along with that HP. HP is king, honestly, and you already have 380 items. You should be a-okay in terms of damage. So in this build, you can deal with squishies, you can deal with tanks, you can stay durable to both AD champions and AP champions. So this is really good in terms of combat. Now I guess the one weakness you might want to call out there is, yeah, but honestly speaking, as far as I see, especially comparing it with Trinity Force, you don't really have that much split power. Yeah, I know, but the purpose of this is to be a lot more stronger in a team fight scenario, because this does not have Cleaver, and it also doesn't have as much resistances as this build. So there are strengths and weaknesses that they don't share. It differs, but that's the whole point. But this is forbidden combatant, and this is the best I'd say Darius can get in a team fight. But other than that, thank you for watching the video. Do the YouTube usuals: like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and watch more videos. Anyways, that's it from me. All my links down in the description below. Have a nice rest of your day, and peace late.
Nothing but